Welcome to Assembly Update. I'm Ted Flint. Joining us today, Assemblyman Michael Novakhov, who serves the 45th Assembly District, which includes Kings County. Assemblyman Novakhov, as always, good to see you.
Ted, good to see you. Thank you.
A couple of issues we're going to discuss. One we touched on briefly last time, but we're going to start with the Democratic Socialists of America, the DSA, and the relaunch of the Not on My Dime Act. You have a response. You have your own bill. Why don't you discuss both, if you would?
So, Not on our dime bill is a bill which Zohran Mamdani, when he was an assembly member, introduced at the assembly. One of a few bills he introduced, honestly speaking. and the bill is to ban New York's nonprofits to fund Israel, to fund organizations and non-for-profits in Israel, which I think it is an insult because, we have a right to, a non-for-profit has a right to fund anything they want to fund.
Right.
And my response to that was Not on Our Dollar Act, which bans working with non-for-profits who are sponsoring terrorist organizations. So it's like sponsoring the state of Israel, a legitimate state of Israel, versus sponsoring terrorist organizations who created that monster called Hamas, Hezbollah, and organizations which are terrorizing the whole civilized world, including the state of Israel. That was my answer to Not on Our Dime bill, Not on Our Dollar Act. So as they're reintroducing Not on Our Dime, Mamdani's successor from Queens is introducing this this bill. I'm reintroducing the Not on Our Dollar Act.
So I think their motivation, if I may add, is pretty transparent, and I think in your response, I mean, it's good that you're answering. It's tit for tat here. I mean,
right.
You have to do that, unfortunately, for sure. What is your, just to touch on the budget briefly, because Mamdani was looking to have the governor have the state fill a $5 billion plus hole in New York City's budget. And that was the case last night from what I was listening to some of the debate. A lot of the deep blue cities wanted bailouts from the state, and it sounds like they got him. They got those bailouts.
We got those bailouts. I mean, there was some good stuff there, which is school funding for sure. Yeah. And I mean, listen, you always feel sorry when you have to vote for something good, and at the same time you have something not good in the same bill. And I think it's done purposely, of course.
Sure.
Like, let's say the funding for public schools and mayoral control of the schools, which I don't like mayoral control of Mayor Mamdani's school. Well, again, it really depends who the mayor is. When that was right. Mayor Giuliani's idea back in 2002, because the school boards failed to operate, to manage. And it was Mayor Giuliani's idea. By the way, I think it's his birthday today. So happy birthday,
yes.
Mayor Giuliani, America's mayor.
That's right.
Yeah, and he introduced something as mayoral control of the school system, which was working successfully. But again, knowing what's going on in the public education system. And I was a witness of violent anti-Semitism in New York schools, and I think we already discussed that in one of our videos. That I even met with the principal, one of the school's principals in my district, to discuss anti-Semitism. So of course, I'm against Mamdani's control over the schools, but at the same time, like, how would you vote? Would you vote no on funding the schools? Of course not, no. Right? So that's the problem with the budget. We have a lot of bad and good stuff, and unfortunately, you have to kind of automatically agree with something you do not like, such as the mayoral mayoral
Sure.
control of the schools, but at the same time vote for the budget, right? Because
Right.
listen,
You have to.
whoever the mayor is, it doesn't matter. Kids have to go to school in September,
That's
right?
it. Yep.
With any mayor, the worst mayor, the best mayor, it doesn't matter.
All righty. Let's talk about this week's protest in front of Gracie Mansion. Give us a little history, a brief history of these protests, if you would.
Well, so first of all, I'm very proud that I kind of started that Stop Mamdani movement with the Stop Mamdani line that I'm running on, and the whole movement, which started on Brighton Beach, which started in the area where most of the immigrants from the former Soviet Union, from the communist and socialist country live at. And the movement started there. We started it at Boardwalk on Brighton Beach, at the legendary Boardwalk a few weeks ago. And then it started kind of spreading all over. And I wasn't the organizer of the protest, of the rally and protest in the city, in Manhattan, in front of the Gracie Mansion. And by the way, I have to mention this, that they didn't let us close to Gracie Mansion.
Right.
So
well, sure.
Mayor Mamdani is okay with having, as you know, he banned that buffer zone law in city council. The 50-foot law was passed a few days ago, on Monday, I believe, or Tuesday. On Tuesday, I'm sorry. However, we were, from the Gracie Mansion, we were, the people who are protesting Mamdani, and Gracie Mansion is not a religious institution, it's not an educational institution, it's just a residence of New York City mayor. Mm-hmm. So we were protesting perhaps a few hundred feet away from Gracie Mansion. So in mayor's opinion, it is okay to hold a protest right at the synagogue, right in front of the school, right in front of the health facility, right? But not close to his residence. What a hypocrisy, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So now you respected the boundaries. You respected the boundaries.
I mean, we did, of course. Yes, we did. It was, I would say, under 1,000 people protesting. I wish, we have more, but it was under 1,000 people, and I was the only elected official. Who spoke there. So, people were saying different things. We had great speakers there. A lot of influencers, bloggers, people with like hundreds of thousands of followers on their accounts. Great people, by the way, great people. And people were showing middle finger to Gracie Mansion. People were saying a lot of things about Mamdani, which I do not disagree. But I was the only one who said, hey, where's the solution? What is the solution to it? Yes, right. we all agree on the fact that we don't like Mamdani and we want him out of here. We want him out of New York, out of Gracie Mansion. But what is the solution? Nobody gave the solution except me. I said, listen, the only person who can unseat Mamdani and fire Mamdani is the Republican governor. So vote Bruce Blakeman, and vote Republicans. We're the only people who can fight Mamdani.
That's it.
And the organizers, being a non-for-profit organization, said, no, we cannot, we cannot be political. Which is, I respect that. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I understand rules are the rules. And by the way, I didn't know that. It's not that I intentionally broke their rules. I had no idea. But it felt so strange and funny because everything is political. Mamdani is political. So if we're looking for a solution, it is a political solution. We can rally and protest all we want. We can show middle finger to Mamdani all we want. It's not going to change anything, right? We need a real solution. And when it comes to the real solution, unfortunately, no, you can say that because it's political. Everything's political, and the solution should be political. So it was a little strange to hear. But once again, I'm very, very thankful to the organizers of the rally. I know it's not easy to organize a protest in the city, in Manhattan, A few streets were closed. I'm sorry to the residents. One of the
Right.
ladies was watching a protest from the comfort of her balcony. So
Will it be? Is it safe to say there'll be future rallies or protests at
I'm
Gracie
pretty
Mansion?
sure. Yeah, I think it's just the beginning of the of the Stop Mamdani movement. I'm pretty sure we will see more and more and more protests in all over the city, probably all over the state. I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be all over the nation.
All right. Well, keep us up to date on the next one. Assemblyman Michael Novakhov. If you want to get in touch with the Assemblyman, you can call him at his DO in Brooklyn, 718-743-4078. Assemblyman Michael Novakhov, always a pleasure. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Ted. See you next week.
We will talk to you next week. Thanks for joining us on this edition of Assembly Update. I'm Ted Flint.